All right. So today we're asking one really powerful question. And the question is, if we really were to get under this epidemic anxiety and depression and addiction and pain that so many people are living with, even despite them having it all,
Yeah.
what's going on there? What's really underneath that?
So that's such a good question, and so relevant and so important right now.
So important.
And when I dig under the layers, keep unwrapping it, what I find is at the root is unmet needs. Unmet needs. Now we may be talking about the inner child trauma, the issues of related to that and that work of the hurt, scared, lonely little kid inside and the unmet needs. And you and I've talked a lot about that even in the best families, some needs are going to be unmet and some needs are going to be missed. And you can't walk with your child every second. So, or you couldn't have someone who walked with you every second.
Sure.
So there will be some places where you went it alone and there were unmet needs. And then as you turn into an adult, then you need to figure out what those needs are and how to meet them. So I would say unmet needs. And then in the adult world, unmet needs where you feel like you matter, you're important, someone has your back, there's a place you can go when you're upset and hurting, and you can be heard and seen and cared for, and that you can that you feel like you have a purpose, that you feel like you matter in the world, that you feel like you can make a difference somewhere, that you feel like those needs are being met, those primary human needs.
Mm-hmm.
And when those needs are not being met and haven't been met historically or in your adult life, then I think that's what's under depression and anxiety. Besides trauma,
Yes.
Unmet needs. And I would say either category.
Yeah.
Even if we go to trauma, we'll talk about unmet needs underneath it.
Right.
Primary human needs, to feel like they're part of something, to feel like you matter, to feel like someone sees you, to feel like someone cares about you, to feel like someone's got your back.
And in all of it, all of the emotions.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Not just the happy ones.
No, that
All
someone, you can go to
emotions.
someone when you're scared, lonely, hurt,
Yeah.
and that you can have connection there. Or you can have connection in the work that you do, that you're not just about, accumulating stuff and materialism and, work addiction, avoiding, denying, repressing, running on the treadmill that we're all kind of buying into so much of the time, in order to solve or manage that. But that in a very human way, we're able to, that's what's going to matter. Like on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking, I wish I bought those pair of shoes, or I should have gone on that trip,
or I'm so pissed that I wasted my whole life worrying about my weight.
Yeah, you're going to be sitting there thinking about the people you loved and the people who loved you and the connections that mattered, and maybe you made a difference in one person's life, or you had that moment. Because I think we've all had that moment where we feel our needs are being met and someone's actually there and we're not alone. We've all had a moment of that.
Yes, for sure.
Or many moments of that, or some, that we know what matters and we know what is important and we know what really meets our needs. And I think that's what we're talking about.
Amazing. You have one piece of advice for parents who aren't so comfortable dealing with their own challenging emotions and or their children's, because that's where I think a lot of this really stems, is we don't know how to deal with challenging emotions, and then our kids show us them and we're like, so then we end up not consciously giving our kids what they actually need. How can we start as parents to edge towards more comfort with the challenging emotions and holding more space for them within ourselves and for our children?
That's a great question, because where I always start, we've talked about starting with awareness, but actually what I start with parents who have been kind of chronically cheerleading and fixing and helping and caretaking and lecturing and all that stuff.
It's my whole generation.
Mine too, probably.
Okay.
Or maybe just that's a parent thing. It's in the parent suit. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to fix everything. I'm supposed to have all the answers, which you're not, and you'll never will. I start with shut up.
Hmm.
I start with silence. I start with button it up.
Love it.
And a lot of my clients historically have teased me about this. Like, I really shut up. They'll say to me, I'll say like, and then I listen to what you say, and I just said this, but then I said that, and then I explained it, and I'm like, could you just go, oh, uh, I hear you, yeah. Seriously, that is
Yeah, I
presence.
agree.
That is presence. Oh,
Not fixing,
sometimes
not thinking about,
no.
not walking over it. Just
So much of the time I'm sitting with someone and they're emoting or they're sharing with me, they're starting to open up, and I know how hard that is to do. And I have such respect for people who do it. And I know it's, I can put myself in that chair and I think, wow, this is hard. And so I say, I know how hard this is to do it. And I'm right here and I hear you. And I think sometimes saying that, I'm right here and I hear you. And then actually being right there and then moving into, oh, and sometimes I'll just sit in silence there for a while. Like someone's told me a whole story and I won't respond for a bit. And I'm just like, yeah. I think we're so scared of that moment, that silence. That's presence.
yeah.
And I think that's presence universally. I think that's presence as parents for sure. So you often start with, could you just give them your friendly ear instead of your friendly mouth? Your friendly advice.
Your friendly ear, your friendly, your
oh,
presence.
make
your
noises.
breath. Love it.
It really,
I love it. And that is really
and
good
you know
advice,
what
but that's
happens?
not what our default is.
Do you know what happens when I do that? And I've seen this over and over and over again. And parents come to me and they say, oh, they won't open up to me. They don't want to share with me. They don't tell me anything, especially in adolescence. They don't want, how do I get them to open up? And when they start practicing, I hear you. I'm right here. Oh, yeah, no advice, no lecturing, no fixing. For a while, and then you can start when you get really good at it and you've developed real credibility and your kid is really coming to you and you've gotten good at it and you're learning to shut up, then you can start maybe to throw in a little bit, I was thinking maybe you could do this or maybe try that. But in the beginning, if you do that, and what happens is they're like, then the kids start downloading everything. They start telling them all the stuff. They start sharing. They start opening up. And then the parents come to me and say, what do I do? I didn't know that. I was like, oh my God, they want to come lie on my bed and talk all the time. Yeah, but I think it's really effective.
Less is more, and think less, be more. Thank you. That was brilliant.